Hi, Jim.
Well, good morning.
Well, I do appreciate you being here with me today. So we're going to jump into Meet the TMC Team just to have our members get to know you a little bit better, especially ones who may not have met you in person before. First question that I'm going to ask was, what was your first job ever?
Yeah, the very first job was I was high school. It was high school. I was 16 because I didn't get an allowance or anything. I had to earn my allowance. So I think my first job was at a place called, I'm not sure if you have it in Cleveland area or not. Certainly in California we did way back when, was Taco Bell. No, it wasn't
Taco
Taco
Bell?
Bell. No, it wasn't
It's like
Taco Bell.
everyone has Taco Bell.
No, it wasn't Taco Bell. It was Del Taco. It was Del Taco. Taco Bell made it, became big. Del Taco didn't last very long, but that's where I worked, Del Taco. So I still know how to make burritos and stuff, which isn't that hard. But I could roll it out and all that stuff.
Okay.
Challenge is people overstuff the burrito. Like they
That
put
is
too
my
much in,
problem. Yep.
right? And they get a little too greedy, and then it just falls apart, and then you don't have a perfect burrito. So,
That's
that's
me.
the
You
trick.
just identified my problem in one sentence. What was your first job in the mortgage industry?
I'd say the housing industry first, and it kind of transitioned into the mortgage industry. I don't know. My job right out of grad school was as a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. for low-income housing, community development, economic development for cities throughout the country. So my organization represented like 500 cities, all the major cities around the country. We represented them on housing, community development related federal legislation. So that's what I worked on for a number of years. Then I transitioned from that. I got appointed into a position during the Clinton administration, and I worked at FHA as the chief of staff to the FHA commissioner.
That's awesome.
My first foray into the mortgage business. Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely lean on your experience, and that's really cool. I had no idea that that's how you got involved in the housing and then the mortgage industry.
Yeah, I kind of stayed like it's interesting because there wasn't like the specific plan to be in the mortgage business, or like most people I think in the mortgage
Apparently
business.
no one plans to get here. They just show
No,
up.
not really. So I was kind of passionate about housing, urban policy. That's what I was passionate about when I was in grad school.
Cool. And what's something that you wish you knew when you first got into the industry?
The one thing that I would say I feel like I missed out on was more of the on the ground experience. I started out at the National Federal Policy, so it's like the highest you can get to, like very 30,000 feet view of the business. FHA, I wasn't even an underwriter. I wasn't in the trenches at FHA. I was in the front office. All the paperwork and everything that kind of ran through the organization came from me and to the FHA commissioner, and so it was sort of managing the business kind of at the highest level. And then from there I went to Freddie Mac, and again, I kind of managed the business at the high, kind of the detached level in some ways from the ground. So that's the one part that I kind of missed out on. I feel like I would have really enjoyed learning really from the ground up. So I've never actually, underwritten a file or, actually processed a loan, and from a very, hands-on perspective. I've, obviously been around all of this issue for a long time now. That's one thing that I wish I would have done.
Thank you so much for sharing all that. And now we get to dive into the fun questions.
Uh-oh.
So first question is, what is the most imaginative insult that you can think of?
Wow, that is hard. Okay, so imaginative insult. Say you're you are one thing I did say one time, it wasn't even I don't know, it wasn't a direct insult. It was more of a coaching moment, but I think that person took it as an insult. This guy, he worked with me, and he used to talk a lot. So one time I said, I remember him saying to him, I said, if you talk half as much, I'll listen to you twice as more. And he's like, what? I said, that just means just shut up, right? Just
It was very poetic. But the next question that I have is, what's your secret talent?
All my life, I've been very, I would say, artistically oriented. So I don't know if people know, but I actually have a degree in art as well. So it wasn't because I wanted to be an artist or make a living doing art, but it's something I love doing. So I don't know. All my life, since I was a little kid, I used to win like all the art contests since I was a little kid, all the way up, right?
So what's your preferred medium of art?
You know what? I actually don't have one specifically. I've done photo collages, or I'll incorporate photography into paintings, or sometimes I'll do woodwork, or sometimes I've done like metal work or things that float in the space, or
Ooh.
I don't know. Or I've done just things that are more what people used to call installations, which is taking a room and transforming it into a story, right? And that's so I know that because of that, I'm sort of visually oriented. Like when I kind of walk into a space, I size it out and just kind of try to figure things out. I still to this day kind of do that a little bit.
Yeah, and when you guys hired me on, I was a theater major, and I think that stuff that I learned from that applied to my job every day.
I don't know, for me, in some funny way, because I have, I studied economics and then political science. So, people talk about this all the time with colleges, right? They don't use anything that they learned in college. But art, actually, that's one that I still to this day, I feel like, you know what? Some of the stuff that I used to do or learn from school, I still even apply some of that, when I look at things and when we work on projects, for TMC. So everyone should go get an art degree. That's what I would say.
Yes.
It's the most useful degree, despite what people
think
say.
So. Yeah, everyone go get an art degree.
I agree. Everyone get an art degree. It's not the most useless degree out there.
It's not. But thank you so much for taking the time to, have the rest of our membership get to know you a little bit better. The next in line should be David Kittle. So he'll be the next interviewee. Oh, no.
I'll see you, I'm sure, in one of our calls soon.
I'll see you at our 1 o'clock call.
And goodbye to all the TMC family. Good seeing you.
Yes, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I'll talk with you super soon, Jim. Thank you.
All righty. Take care.